No way they actually do this, as we have a huge New York Jets trade update to go over regarding the team and multiple new trade targets that have been revealed for the Jets, some of which fans are going to be way more interested than others, but a lot of names to dive into, a lot of well-known names on this trade market right now as we look to see a bit of a quarterback carousel, as typically often with teams that do need a quarterback and go the route that some teams have went before, believing they could solve the problem. With the Jets not landing Dante Moore or really any quarterback with that second overall pick, and the only other guy who feels it could be a year one starter out there is Ty Simpson. If the Jets don't go with him, we are going to see a veteran be their starting quarterback. And regardless, we're going to see the Jets bring in a veteran at some point of this offseason anyway. No matter what, we know the Jets will bring in a veteran arm. Whether that's through free agency, whether that's through the trade market, there will be a big impact here, and there will be a veteran quarterback in the green and white next year. It will not be Justin Fields. It will likely not be Tyrod Taylor, but there will be someone out there. And guys, we're not going to waste your time. We're going to dive into it because there have been a few different names that have been linked here to the Jets, as we've seen. I mean, as an anonymous NFL executive said, do the Jets get one of Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, or Geno Smith? That's really the question I have. They could go young and load up for the 2027 draft of quarterbacks, but the head coach, Aaron Glenn, probably needs to win, so he might need more of a reliable option. Even if the Jets do gear up for 2027, no matter what, or they pick in 2026 and land a quarterback somewhere in that first or second round, we're going to see them add a veteran, and we pretty much know which one it's going to be. But before we get into all the news today, we're proud to announce this video is brought to you by Koshi. And if you download it using the link below and put in the code DIGESTNFL, you will get $20 when you trade your first 100. Now, Koshi, it's the largest prediction market in the United States. And on their platform, you can trade yes, no on real life events, whether that's the news, sports, the weather, elections, and pretty much everything. And whether you're in New York, California, Texas, or anywhere across the country, Koshi is live in all 50 states. Now, this is great for sports fans, as you can trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, or player performances on a regulated market where you can cash out at any time. Now, this is excellent for sports fans, especially because the NFL playoffs are officially here and there is a lot of movement going on right now. And if you trade on Seattle, who has 20% of trades on them to win the Super Bowl with former Jets quarterback Sam Darnold, you will get $45 in return. Now, this is an excellent trade and one that I'm super interested in because the Seahawks look absolutely excellent right now. They have got a great defense, and Sam Darnold has been doing a phenomenal job. And guys, if you want to get in on the action and get that $20 when you trade your first 100, put in code DIGESTNFL. Thank you to Koshi, but guys, let's get into the video. We have a lot to go over. So looking at these options for the Jets, wow, I like my hair better than that ad read. We're going to have to fix this, but not the problem now. The thing is with the Jets, it is pretty clear who it feels like that next quarterback is going to be, though there are a few different options here. Now, right now, Kyler Murray, if you go on Koshi and decide to make a trade on one of these teams, the Jets right now do not have the highest chance. The Pittsburgh Steelers actually do. And that is very interesting to look at. Obviously, the Steelers have to find a new coach and a few other moves as well with Mike Tomlin out of there. And right now with the Jets, you could still trade and get a pretty penny on it. And if I were you, I might look into this pretty heavily, because if you ask me, I imagine the Jets are going to look at the idea of trading for Kyler Murray. Now, Murray, he had a 2-3 record last season, threw 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, can run the ball decently well also, but has dealt with a few different injuries throughout his career, including a torn ACL back in the day, and then this season also. Now, he does rush around 5 to 7 times per game and gets a couple good yards out of rushing. Did have a rushing touchdown against the Tennessee Titans, a game they would lose by just a point, and then Murray would not play another game this season, and they would go to Jacoby Brissett. But look, with Murray, with where everything is at, he does feel like the most likely option for the next Jets quarterback. Now, again, we're asking which one of these guys the Jets would likely look at. The Jets need a quarterback who can win, so that makes it tough to believe that it's going to be this man in Geno Smith. That's just how it feels right now. I mean, when we look at Geno Smith, we see a guy who just had a 2-13 record, led the Raiders to picking a quarterback first overall. He did have 3,000 yards thrown with 19 touchdowns, but he also threw 17 interceptions. Geno Smith did not have a good year. Obviously, there was a bunch of memes out there about the fact that he was completely inaccurate and that Eugene Cyril Smith just did not have a good season after looking pretty decent in Seattle. He couldn't really replicate that at all in Las Vegas, and now teams are going to have to look in another direction. So when we keep in mind all that, we do have to understand that Murray is one of the better options out here. As Dominique Claire mentioned, I was going through Kyler Murray tape this morning to find some clips of him slinging it like Caleb Williams after Caleb Williams made that absolutely incredible throw. After watching a bunch, I am actually very intrigued to see him on a new team. He has such a talented arm. We have not seen the best of him. If the Jets want the best option, you go out there and you get Kyler Murray. Look, is Murray going to change the franchise? Likely not. But at the same time, when we saw Caleb Williams make that insane touchdown pass in a game the Bears would end up losing, what we saw was a lot of people saying that was supposed to be Kyler Murray. What has happened to him? The thing is, Murray still has shown potential to be a good quarterback. He's 30 years old. He still has time and has a chance to revamp his career. We saw Jared Goff do that with the Lions. The Jets are trying to follow this Lions trajectory here. So maybe there is a world where they see Murray, and even though he's a bit undersized, they think, he's got such an incredible arm. Let's take a chance on him, because honestly, what's preventing us from doing so? We could probably get the Cardinals to pay some of that money, and we could probably get some draft capital for taking on the absolutely atrocious contract that comes with Kyler. We know he's getting moved, and it really feels like it's going to be between one of the Jets or the Steelers here. Now, the other option is Tua Tagovailoa as well, and he, in his own right, is a very interesting option. Because, look, Tagovailoa, he ended up getting benched after 14 games this season and just did not have a good year. 20 touchdowns thrown, 15 interceptions thrown, had 2,660 passing yards, and just didn't overall look good at all. Tua he really didn't have it. First of all, he's a lefty, which makes things a little bit weird. The Jets do have an incredible right tackle in Armand Membo, so he's someone who could easily be a blindside tackle if you need him to be. But at the same time, Tagovailoa is really just he'd be surprising to see him. Again, huge contract. The Dolphins would likely have to pay some of it. And at the same time, when we look at Tua, I really don't see a world where the Jets aren't also getting draft capital for taking him on. If the Jets see something in him, then screw it, go for it. But Tagovailoa's dealt with a ton of injuries, specifically concussions, and we don't really know how much longer he's going to play. The Southpaw is the most interesting one out of these guys, I think, because it feels like Murray, it's a better option, a higher likelihood of it working. It feels like Geno Smith, there's a lower likelihood of it working. It feels like with Tua, it could really go in any direction, and more importantly, it feels like an unlimited amount of scenarios that play out here. Whether he gets injured, whether he's actually good like he has been in the past, whether he's terrible like he was this season. And then somewhere weirdly in the middle where the Jets end up with a strange record despite Tua's play. It feels like it could go in any direction. Now, Darren Waller did talk very positively of Tua, as many of his teammates do, saying, I'm watching, and this is in January, so this is not like before the season when Waller came back to the NFL. This was January, and he said, I'm watching Tua throw darts every practice. I was just like, what the hell am I watching? I've never seen the anticipation and the accuracy. The skill set is definitely still there. Obviously, when we hear quotes like that, we do think of Tyreek Hill saying that he trusts Tua more on the deep ball than Patrick Mahomes. That's straight up Tyreek Hill just riding for his quarterback, as he should. And on top of that, when we look at this situation, Darren Waller is probably doing the same. But at the same time, I am curious about how the Jets feel. It feels like it'd be likely one of Kyler or Tua if they make a trade for a veteran quarterback who once was something really special, but is flamed out pretty young. And we're going to see what happens with that. Out of all these guys, do you have a preference? Is your preference just nobody? If you don't like any of these guys, what's the veteran you want to see the Jets bring in? Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Go Jets.